What's going on, guys? It's your host, Alex, Credit Expert. We're back with another video. Today, we're going to be talking about how funding can help those of you that are in the e-commerce space. If you're in e-com, funding is a great tool to have in your back pocket, especially when you can use 0% interest funding, because a lot of the stuff that you guys are buying, usually you can use a credit card to purchase. Now, some suppliers may require cash, but that's where a line of credit or a cash loan can also come in. So we're going to be talking about how funding can help you guys in the e-com space. And remember, if you're not subscribed, make sure to hit the subscribe button. That way you guys are notified anytime I drop another video. That way you guys can stay up to date with everything that's happening in the credit and funding space. And if you're not following me on Instagram, go ahead and shoot me a follow. It's Alex Credit Expert. That way you guys can see a day-to-day of my life. With that being said, let's get to the video. So today we're going over funding for e-commerce. So what is e-commerce? If you guys are selling anything online, that is e-commerce. You're doing transactions online. A lot of people, when they hear e-com, we're thinking drop shipping, Amazon, those type of things. Now, I want to tell you guys how funding helps you if you are in the e-commerce space, specifically maybe more of that Amazon drop shipping type of model. So the first thing you guys need to understand is that when you have funding available, you have purchasing power. Purchasing power is how much you can purchase. So super straight up, if you only have $100 to your name, you can only buy $100 worth of items. If you have $100,000 to your name, you can buy $100,000 worth of items. So obviously, who do you think is going to be more successful? Somebody that only has $100 or somebody that has $100,000? Clearly, the person with $100,000 will be more successful because they can purchase more overall. Now, obviously, make sure that what you're buying is profitable, but let's say both of these people are profitable. The person that has more capital is simply going to be able to do more, which means more profits for them. This also allows them to grow a lot quicker and just make more money overall. Now, purchasing power is really important, especially in the e-commerce space, depending on what your business model is, because if you're in a model where you need to have the inventory in order to sell it, if you don't have enough money to buy inventory, as soon as that thing is sold out, you lose opportunity to make more sales. Because let's say you only have 10 items, because you only have enough money to purchase 10 items. As soon as those 10 items are sold, you're going to have to wait until you get paid. And then after you get paid, you can restock another 10, maybe 15 items. This is supposing you made profit and maybe you're buying some additional items to sell. Next time around, you can sell 15 items at a time. And then let's say next time around, you can sell 20 items at a time. Clearly, you are growing here, which is what we want. But if you don't have capital, you're limited and you can only make small growth. If the same person knows that they can sell 100 of these items, they're just lacking the capital. If you get yourself funded, you go from somebody that can only handle 10 transactions at the time to now handling 100 transactions. And now that you're doing more volume, maybe next time, instead of just growing by 5 units, you're growing by 20 units. So next time you're selling 120, maybe the next time you're at 140, 160, and so on. And this is how you see that the more purchasing power you have, the more moves you can make more quickly, because you can just simply buy more. The more inventory you have, the more you're able to sell. This allows you to make more profits, do more deals, do more transactions, and it just puts you in a situation where you don't have to worry about money being an issue for you to keep growing. So that is how purchasing power comes into place, especially in the e-com space, from what I see other entrepreneurs and business owners struggling with. It's just they just don't have the capital to get the inventory they need, or maybe they wish they had the capital so they can have more inventory to sell. So this is how purchasing power is affected by funding, and if you can fund yourself, you're going to be in a much better position, especially against your competitors. Now, the second thing that a lot of people don't realize is you get manufacturer or distribution discounts. What a lot of people don't realize is that if you are doing a lot of transactions, so let's say you're buying stuff in bulk because you have the purchasing power because you got yourself funded, a lot of times what that will lead to is actually the manufacturer giving you some type of discount. Now, they may give you this discount as an incentive to continue doing business with them and to continue buying more from them, or maybe they just cut you a break because at a certain amount of units that you're purchasing, maybe it's a cheaper cost. This is a perfect example of why a lot of people go to Costco. If you think about Costco, Costco gives you really big sizes of an item, but a lot of times at a really good price. Let's say you went to a normal store and you bought some wheat thins. And I'm just using wheat thins as an example because I usually eat those. So let's say a 5-ounce package costs you $5. What you may see is if you go to Costco, they may only sell you 10 ounces, but maybe it's at $8. So as you can see here, you get a slight discount for purchasing more. If you were to take the same example, if you were to go to the normal store, and if you were to buy 2 of these packages to get 10 ounces, you'd be looking at $10, while Costco sold you 10 ounces at $8. And let's say you wanted 20 ounces. That means you would multiply this by 2. Now you have 20 ounces at $16, whereas the normal supermarket would charge you $20 for 20 ounces. And you can see how this slowly starts to compound and compound. And then you start realizing that the better deal is buying the bigger amount, buying in bulk. That is why Costco is so successful, because they sell to you in bulk, so they're able to sell you more, but you also get a slight discount, which is why you're incentivized to buy more. A lot of times, the people that are supplying your material for your clothes, the people that are supplying your inventory for your Amazon warehouse, these people will give you a discount if you're buying in bulk. Now, it's not everybody, but it makes sense, because as a business owner, if I know you are going to continue buying from me and I see you suddenly buy way more from me, I might be incentivized to give you a slight discount in order to keep you as a customer. Because not only are you making me happy because you're buying so much from me, I also want to keep you happy. That way you continue to come back. So a lot of times what you'll see is when you start buying in bulk, you actually start getting discounts. And these discounts mean increased profits. Because let's say if you spent 100K, somebody gave you, let's say 100 shirts to sell. Well, now maybe that same 100K, they'll give you 120 shirts to sell. This is like you getting a discount. Obviously now you have an extra 20 shirts to sell, and this means more profits. So I'm using just some random examples for you guys to understand the concept. But pretty much a lot of times what you'll see is when you have more purchasing power, you can buy more in bulk, and a lot of times the people that you're buying from are going to give you some type of discount. It's not always guaranteed, but a lot of times it will happen. And if it doesn't happen, you can simply ask, because now you can just give them the facts. Hey, I went from buying this much to this much. I want to continue buying exclusively from you. Is there any type of discount you can offer me? And any discount they give you is going to mean increased profits, because if you are selling what you sell at the same price and suddenly you get more for what you paid, everything else is profits. So this is how funding can help you get a discount and in turn increase your profits. And then another final thing too is exclusivity. A lot of companies would actually prefer to work with less people than more. More people doesn't always mean good. What people want is to work with proven companies that will fulfill and are easy to work with. If you are somebody that is constantly buying a large amount of volume from a supplier, they may give you an exclusivity deal. What this means is they might tell you, hey, based on how much you're doing with us, we only want to work with you, and we're actually going to cut out the competition. What this allows you to do is slowly start taking over the market for whatever that is. Once you have exclusivity of it, a number of things happen. Not only do you start controlling the market, but also you can start controlling the price, because now you control more of that asset. So this is how funding can help you in a lot of different ways. It allows you to be able to purchase more, which purchasing more usually can lead to you getting discounts, which means increased profits. And the more you're able to purchase from that supplier or that direct person, sometimes they offer you exclusivity, which means your brand becomes more superior because your brand is the only one that has it. So it builds your brand up, and you may be able to charge more if you want to. Now, you don't even have to charge more, because a lot of times you're the only person that has this. So you automatically become exclusive and you convert more easily. So these are just some ways that funding can help you guys in the e-commerce space. Again, it just depends on what type of business you have in this space, but funding is necessary, especially for you guys that are starting out. What I see a lot of times is when you're brand new to the e-com space, you don't have a lot of capital, so you're working very slow, because as you get money, you put it back into the business and you slowly start making that growth. However, if you get funded and you inject a quick 50, 100, 150K, whatever you qualify for, this business is able to take off much faster, which means you're able to see success a lot quicker. So this is how it helps you. If you don't know how to get funded, make sure you go through the channel, because I have a lot of videos explaining how credit works and how you can use it to get funded. If you're also interested in learning more in depth about how to get yourself funded, go ahead and check the caption down below. I'm going to be hosting a free webinar where you'll be able to attend to learn more about funding yourself. That's pretty much going to wrap up today's video. I hope you guys got some value out of this, especially you guys that are in the e-commerce space. If you're not subscribed yet, go ahead and click the subscribe button. If you like this video, click the thumbs up, and please leave a comment on what you guys thought and what you guys want to see me make a video about next. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you for the next one.